A constant staple of the battle shonen, or shonen in general, brother characters tend to have a lot of the cool moments where they can show off. While these are often done to contrast with the protagonist, some of the heroes and main characters are brothers themselves. So for today, we'll be going through some of my favourite showcases of outright power from brothers in anime. While I'd like to feature some moments of mental gymnastics from brother characters, I figure that these ones are far more common. If you're up to react to some of my favourite showcases of power from brother characters, then strap yourselves in. Fire Force has a shorty, but it sure made a great impression. The first truly antagonistic example on the list, we have Sho gracing us with his presence. For those who've watched Fire Force, you know which moment I'm talking about. It's one of the most pivotal moments in the Vulcan's workshop arc, and it's his reunion with Shinra. Shinra's overjoyed to see his brother again. Unfortunately, the same sentiments can't be said of Sho, who quickly attacks. Reacting with disgust, Sho proceeds to quickly defeat Shinra in a battle that was barely won. Even when Arthur tries to intervene, Sho easily makes quick work of him. Granted, Arthur came from a hell of a fight, but he also spent quite a lot of said fight showing off only to get one-shotted here. I say that antagonists can really use a very impactful introduction, and while it's a short moment, I think the scene does that and more for Sho. It showed off parts of his personality in a way that fans can quickly remember him for. Him soloing Shinra and Arthur in short order is just the cherry on top. We proceed now with Sabo in One Piece. On the topic of One Piece, everyone will be expecting someone like Ace given the context of this list. However, I personally like to shine the spotlight on Luffy's lesser-known brother. Well, brother in a technicality's sake. Among Sabo's moments, my absolute favourite case of him showing his power is when he shows up in Dressrosa. Disguise and all, his impressive prowess remains. Case in point, the moment when he demolishes the entire arena with a combination of Dragon Claw Fist and Dragon Breath, all while the audience looks on in astonishment at the power of this guy. Sabo's really an impressive character, all things considered. This is a guy who was able to use Haki at age 17, by the way. No wonder this guy has quickly shot up the popularity charts and become one of the most beloved side characters in One Piece. Next up is a moment featuring Kirito from SAO, War of Underworld. To say that Kirito has a lot of OP flexing moments is quite the understatement. He's got a lot of them. There's the Gleam Eyes battle where he came dangerously close to dying, or the ending of Ordinal Scale. But I think that my favourite one has to be his revival in War of Underworld. When you've got an entire season dedicated to holding the line and protecting the comatose guy, you better make it all worth it. And sure he did, because why not? It took a season and a half to wait for him to wake up, but when he did, all it took was some getting back into form before he manages to show off the power he gained from defeating Administrator at the end of Alicization's first part. He alone trivializes the entire Red Army with the power of his and Yu-Gi-Oh's swords, and he finishes his long-standing rivalry with Vassago, showing off an entirely new arsenal of learned abilities he didn't get to show before due to falling into a coma. He didn't god mode his way through Vassago, mind you, but at this point, it's clear as day he's literally the only one with even the slightest chance against the arc's top villains. Next, something right in time for the return of Bleach. We're talking about Byakuya in Memories of Nobody. In the mainline series, Byakuya has had a lot of these cool moments, being the prideful and honourable captain that he is. While we can easily talk about how he easily defeated Renji even when the latter seemed at the top of the world with his newly acquired Bankai and all, I think that this movie moment feels more apt if we're taking a simple showcase that results in a quick stomp. What made this such a great moment is that before this point, the guy's barely in the movie at all. He played pretty much no role besides saving Rukia and easily eradicating an opponent who's shown to have given the heroes quite a lot of fits in their previous encounters. Rukia sure had to work to stay alive and fight Jai to a stalemate, but when Byakuya arrives, it's all over. I guess his Bankai being perfect in dealing with multiple clones is a thing to consider, but that doesn't make this moment any less awesome.
千本桜影吉
兄様
行くぞ
Before we move on to the next moment, I'd like to take time to thank our sponsors for today's video, ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is the #1 VPN service that allows you to access the internet like never before. That includes being able to watch all of those shows legally, even if you're not in the supported region, because we all know that region locks can be such a pain. I've used ExpressVPN to rewatch Attack on Titan recently, and let me just say that it boasts one of the most simplest interfaces that I've ever seen for a VPN. Just turn on this bad boy and select the United States server, connect, and enjoy some Titan slaying goodness. I also want to add that ExpressVPN proudly presents top-tier protection for your data. This way, you can browse the internet without worry, despite the growing worries on cybersecurity these days. I've been using ExpressVPN for as far back as I can remember, and I'll tell you that it has never ever let me down. And I would love you to join the fun. All you have to do is click the link below and avail of the free 3-month service, or go to expressvpn.com/ViniiTube to get started on a new, safer internet life for you. Now, let's head back to the video. Next up is a battle from 7 Deadly Sins.
悪いが負けねえ
How far can one protagonist go in a battle that progressively stacks the odds against him? This is despite how OP said protagonist is. That's the exact question posed by Meliodas' brave stand against the 10 Commandments. To be fair, he did a damn good job roping everyone the first time round. It's not every day that you get to see someone tank all those attacks from top tier fighters, one after another. But Meliodas didn't just tank them. In fact, he used those attacks to charge the counter, preparing to use them against all the commandments at once. You don't get more badass than that. Of course, we all know Meliodas got defeated quickly afterwards. On the other hand, this fight made Estarossa look so much stronger. What better way to build a villain up than to have him quickly one-up the hero who just showcased his power?
いいことを教えてやる俺たち上位魔人族には心臓が7つあるこれで2つ目どんな魔人でもそれを全て潰せば
We proceed with the Dark Wizard Zeref's moment in the Tartaros arc.
叶えることは
君には無理だ
Is this a spoiler? Well, Fairy Tail's been done for a while already, so I guess it's safe to reveal that Zeref is in fact a brother character. I admit this isn't the conventional power showcase that we've seen so far. With the previous few moments, it's the brother character showing off his strength or skill in power. But for Zeref here, it's more a show of superiority. You see, Mardgear here has been soundly beaten by a Herculean effort from the good guys. Then Zeref comes in to deliver the coup de grace. This guy, Mardgear, who had spent the past few episodes making life hell for the heroes, immediately turns into a grovelling mess begging for mercy. Too bad all it took was a little more than a snap before he gets shot back to the depths of Zeref's book. So much for all the talk about him being able to kill the immortal Zeref. Memento Mori could have done the job maybe, but the scene definitely suggests otherwise. Following that, we have Kamui versus everyone. Here's how to leave a massive impression on everyone. Kamui has always been a wildcard character for me. You know, the seemingly strong, edgy rival character type that we so often see in these shonen. He's got quite the reputation, but it's also something that he must defend. He got his chance when he fought Gintoki in Gintama's episode 326. Almost the whole episode is a long, drawn-out fight between the two, but what makes this cooler is that he didn't just fight Gintoki here. He had to go through the whole of Yorozuya and Abuto, and he came out of it looking stronger than ever despite suffering the technical loss. There's no better chance to show off a character's strength than to have him go one versus many, and while Kamui didn't get the honour of delivering a curb-stomped battle like a lot of the traditionally overpowered villains, this fight sure made him live up to his reputation and more. We end with Itachi versus Sasuke. Sasuke had spent entire arcs gathering his forces, becoming stronger, and discarding all he thought was worthless, all for the sake of one goal: defeating his brother and avenging the Uchiha clan. Yet when the two brothers finally meet for their fated showdown, Itachi's reaction tells a different story. From the get-go, Itachi turns the tables on his headstrong brother, opening the whole encounter with a boast. Then he proceeds to outmaneuver Sasuke every bit of the way, quickly shifting momentum of the battle. Well, let's not pretend that Sasuke had it in the first place. To be fair, he quickly recovers and takes the fight to Itachi even if everything seems ineffective. The whole affair turned out to be a touch-and-go battle which strongly showed Sasuke's growth, but it all began with a badass boast to hype the showdown up. It really seemed that Sasuke had bitten more off than he could chew, and it's all because of Itachi's show at the start. And that's it for this video. Now this video and list may be done, but I'm still up for some talking if you want to chime in. I'd encourage comments as they help with the algorithm, but you can also drop by ViniiTube's social media channels. Just follow the links in the description box to visit the channel's Discord, Patreon or Instagram. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you liked it and haven't subscribed yet, then please make sure you do, and don't forget to check out other videos from the channel. Looking forward to seeing you again in the next video.